Howdy, hey, how was your day? Welcome to the Seeking First podcast, where we open books and talk about fishing hooks.
Fishing hooks? I know nothing about fishing. Oh my goodness, I was counting on this topic and then fishing hooks. Okay, but I do know I like the colorful ones. That's what I know about fishing hooks.
Well, technically those are the lures, but I love the excitement.
See, I actually don't know anything.
This is the best one I could.
Back in my day, we used nets. So we didn't use them hooks, you know what I'm saying? I know about fishing from the Bible, and it was nets.
It was nuts. Sounds like nuts. It's like it was nuts. It was nuts. It was, you know.
Well, sometimes when Jesus was there, it was nuts. The fish shouldn't be nuts. Nuts with the nets. Anyway.
Well, okay. I was gonna say
we're off to a great start.
I love this start.
This is great.
I really
talk about. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
Get me off the lures. Get me off the hook.
Yes.
It was only a matter of time.
This is the best. Okay. So actually, I was going to bring it up for a different reason originally, but currently I'm visiting my sister, and tonight we had a delicious meal that I sent Bri a picture of because it was
gorgeous. It looked like Rebecca Merkel. Like you were at her house. Like she always has that.
Yeah. I'm trying to get her onto Canon Press. We'll get there eventually.
Tria is obsessed with her. Well, not. Oh, that's her name, but it's okay. It's my sister.
No, you get bleeped. It's not just me.
Don't bleep this one out. She don't care. Okay, maybe. Anyway, Drea really likes her because she's so bold and like says what's facts. Like
yes.
So Drea likes her a lot, and I'm really excited that I got her into that.
Nonetheless,
I can't impress. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
The food looked beautiful, and y'all should go look up Rebecca Merkel.
Was it
She's
fish?
Awesome. It was fish. It was salmon.
Okay,
so
I wonder.
Salmon on top of like this thyme and lemon rice, and it was delicious. It had like this what we call it salsa, but we had discussions on whether it was that or not, of like onions, and like it was super potent and just like wonderful and beautiful.
That sounds really good.
It was delicious. It was beautiful, and I never really cook fish. I never really get fish.
Yeah,
but I love fish.
So I don't really know where I stand with fish. You know.
Really good for you.
Definitely can't catch them.
Can't get anywhere else.
That is true. That's why I want to like salmon a lot. But you know, that's okay. Yeah, you guys probably heard a voice. And then we're like, wait a second.
I was just gonna say, I was like, we're used to hearing a man's voice. Now that it's a female one, this is different.
Yes, there is a third voice on here. Erica's not changing her voice.
It's being introduced and then it turned into fish talk.
That's true.
Yes,
welcome to our podcast.
Yeah, welcome.
Erica, introduce our guest today.
So I am here with my wonderful sister Nicole, whose name doesn't have to get bleeped out because I've already mentioned it before, and now she's on the podcast. So
sisters can be mentioned.
Sisters can be mentioned, but they don't even.
We're really excited to have Nicole. That's true.
Yes, and she made the delicious supper tonight, and it was beautiful, which is my lead into it. But yes, Nicole is here with us, and we're super pumped. Yeah, it's gonna be really, really fun. We are not gonna go forward with the next chapter of the book.
I'm sorry, you guys are probably really disappointed. But
all the people who have
it's gonna be a good conversation.
All the episodes, they're just like, oh, this is just gonna get in the way of me catching up. No, it's not.
No, I was so excited. I didn't even tell my family about it. I was like, tonight's a special podcast, and they're like, what are you doing? I was like, you have to listen.
Yes, there's
like,
motivation.
But I'm so excited to talk with you, Nicole.
So
it's gonna be so fun.
Yes,
Thanks.
it's gonna. Oh, sorry. Yes.
You just gotta like put yourself in there, like just talk over us. Yeah.
Okay.
You can do it.
I'll do my best. We're gonna try to structure it a little bit for her, like ask some questions. We're going to continue talking about worship from where we left off, because as you guys could tell from the last episodes, Bri and I can't get enough of that stuff. And Nicole has some really good insights into it, and has experience with it and stuff like that. So Bri has a couple questions for her, and then we're just gonna kind of launch off of that. But you guys might be lucky and this might be a shorter episode, or it might be longer. It depends. It's not going to be longer than our usual one. We keep it to the limit.
It's not going to be longer.
It's not going to be. I'm not even going to.
This is our first guest, so we don't have we don't know. You're just going to have to ride along with us. So but I'm super excited that our first guest is Nicole and that we get to talk about worship with her, because I remember coming to Embassy and seeing her up there and just like hearing her every Sunday night and then seeing her Sunday morning too, like leading the worship. I mean, she was so cool. Her voice is beautiful. She's always played beautifully and led such great worship. Wow, like the memories I have just of all the nights you did it. It's just, and you're so cute up there too. And I was like, wow, I love that girl. She was definitely
well, thank you.
You definitely inspired me.
That's high praise. I'm glad. I mean, you might be sick of me after all that. Sounds like too much.
No, it wasn't. No, I was so sad when you left. I was like, oh,
me too. That was
such a good time.
Yeah, it was lovely. I definitely enjoyed it. That's for sure. If you couldn't tell, couldn't get enough.
That's what I love too. Like that you could just see that you were just enjoying it. Like it wasn't a burden to you. You weren't like, oh, here we go again. You were just like truly worshiping every time. And it was like easy for us to start to worship too, because you were just so relaxed and we were like, she's worshiping, like we want to be worshiping with her too. So it was really good. But that kind of starts a little bit like, how did you get into worship and worship ministry, like what, and leading that, like what kind of started that for you?
And kind of like, what did you do as well? Like,
yeah, you can explain to them.
Yeah, what was your role? What was,
Yeah, no, for sure. Honestly, I have to probably give most credit to my lovely mother. She has always been such an inspiration to me in a lot of ways, but especially in worship. Not only did she used to lead worship at our church, but it was just so much a part of her daily life. And in this context, worship meaning like praise music, especially. And using her singing talents and her piano musical talents for the glory of God. And I mean, my life was kind of like our life, I guess. You were there too. It was kind of like a little bit of a musical, and it was fun. And
that's so cool.
Kind of along with what you were saying, just every time being on stage, she was definitely genuinely worshiping our God. And when she was at home and we were taking naps and she was on the piano, finally had some free time, she was worshiping God. And I could just see it was something that gave her so much grace and peace to move on and be the mom that she needed to be and the wife that she needed to be. And anyways, I just saw that and was really inspired and really wanted to be like that for one. So she definitely has a huge influence on that in my life. Always wanted to be like her. That was a really big way that I wanted to be like her. And when I was saved in junior high-ish time, I ended up just getting into like the first thing I could ministry wise. And it was actually dancing for VBS.
Oh yeah.
To the songs.
All of the good ones start there.
Lots of step clap.
I love that.
And loved it, and then did that with the little kids ministry that we had as well. So I guess that's technically where I began, and that definitely got me comfortable with being shameless in front of a crowd. Because
nothing like dancing in front of
for real.
You don't really look good, but you're having a good time.
It's truly when you forget yourself and just do it for the kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where it started.
So funny.
But I don't know, I just being around music so much and singing a lot with my mom. She would also take us places and have us sing with her and things like
nursing homes and stuff.
Yeah, so she really cultivated a very musical home and musical children, and I just loved it. I don't ever remember a time where I didn't love singing and even dancing to music and just music in general. I just really love it.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so I guess I started leading and just jumping around singing songs, but then I joined the youth band when I was in high school. So I loved that. That gave me a lot of confidence. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Did you do guitar when you first were in the youth band?
Yeah, I was gonna
Did
ask
you just
that.
sing? I couldn't
No,
remember.
I
thought it
just
was just sing.
sang. I didn't know. And the only instrument I knew how to play was violin, and that doesn't really like
Or for youth
work
band.
for a youth band. So I just sang. But then there came an opportunity for me to actually lead it as our youth pastor moved on to a different job, and I ended up being like one of the oldest in the group. And I decided, well, it would be really great if I could play an instrument and lead musically, because a lot of the kids that were joining were younger and less experienced.
Mhm.
And I ended up being the most experienced. And so it kind of just happened where I was like, okay, graduating from high school, someone gifted me a guitar. I guess I should probably learn that and start leading. And found that I really, really loved
Wait,
teaching and leading.
so you didn't know guitar until after you graduated?
As I was graduating high school, I learned it. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
I could have sworn that you like that was like with violin, like equally, like you just played the
No.
guitar and violin. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I loved it though. So like I played it all the time. I loved having an instrument I could sing to.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, this story is getting too long, but anyways,
No,
I started
it's
leading
not.
there.
Keep
My
going.
my mom
You're
always had
good.
me a part of the worship team for Sunday mornings as well, like as soon as I could, as soon as I was old enough and all that. Usually I did violin for that, but so I don't know. She also taught me a lot in how to like blend music and different instruments and different voices. And so I found I had a passion for that as well. Like teaching people to play together was really fun for me.
Mhm.
Um, I just really enjoy kids in general. I think they're so fun. I'm kind of a big kid myself, so I enjoyed being in that environment. But I'm kind of forgetting the question, but that's how I started.
That's exactly what the
That was a
question
good
was.
job.
I want to know how you
Okay.
started.
Yes.
That's crazy. I did not know that about guitar because like I was trying to think of too like when I started coming to youth group, like how like where you would have been in life.
That's a good question.
don't even
know.
remember.
I kind of feel like you've been there the whole time, but I know you.
That's
Right.
how I feel about you and the guitar. It's like, oh yeah,
Well,
she's
that's
funny.
just been doing it the whole time.
I know when
Yeah.
you were in the youth band was when I first started going to youth group. So I was in like a middle school. So I think by the time you were leading, Bri would have been going because
Sure.
I'm like almost 3 grades younger than you. And then
Yeah.
Bri's what, you're like 3 grades younger than me? I can't remember. Something like that.
How old are you?
I'm 12. Oh, so
Before.
before. Yeah. So then that means I would have been in mid high school. She would have been in middle school coming in. So
I see.
Yeah,
that would
'cause
make
I
sense.
started
Yeah.
coming like as soon as
So
I
all she would know is
started.
guitar, Nicole.
Oh, she did was guitar, Nicole. Well,
Right.
honestly,
She was great.
God had been, I don't know, looking back after moving, God had been so gracious to really honestly give me my dream. That I always wanted to lead worship. That was a
Mhm.
huge dream of mine from an early age, and didn't go to school for it, but I got to do it so much, and that was really cool. I never been like great at anything. I was like dabbling in a few things, but so I couldn't say like, oh, I was the most talented, so that's why I was doing it. Like, not at all. It kind of just happened. And I just really loved it, and I stuck around, and God, in other ways, in other areas of my life too, God called me to stay when I thought I wanted to go.
Mhm.
So that's a big part of it too. I definitely was one of the few people my age that stuck around after high school. That was just because God said so. God said, you still have
Yeah.
work here. So
Yeah.
and part of that work was to worship. And I had no complaints about that, honestly. I love it.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Wow. That's so cool. I don't think I've ever heard your full like how you got started. I'm kind of sad though because I was like, I don't think I've like been on the same team as you. I don't
I
think we've
know. I
ever
don't know why
worshiped
that didn't
together
happen.
like on a team. We gotta make that happen somehow. That
That
would
would be
be
fun.
fun. But yeah, because I think I started like you were training another who I almost named, but I didn't. Another girl at that time, and I think that's when I started to come in at the end
Okay.
of that.
Oh,
like right after that.
Yeah.
Actually, it was at
I
the
think I know
end
who you're
of
talking
her, and then
Okay.
I came
The
in.
end of
I
her.
think. The end
That's
of like when she was
intense.
graduating. Like she was graduating. I
End
came
of
in
her.
then.
Sounds like an
Not
Not
epic
the end of
movie
her.
title. The end of
She's
her.
alive. She's happy and living good. Okay.
alive.
That was so sad.
She's not to pass away. It's fine. We're
Anyway, yeah.
fine.
But Erica, you served on the worship team with Nicole too, right?
Nicole was on the team more than I was. I don't think I played much on the team until after you moved to Kelowna, and then you weren't as regular. You were at first, and then I can't remember when you moved to Kansas City, but I know here's my thing is I was not comfortable playing piano on the team really at that point, and like I was just started drums, and so mom kind of had to shove me into those situations, and so it wasn't for a bit when I had the confidence to do that because it was when I was like 17 or 18, so Nicole would have been getting close to getting married and moving to Kansas City and stuff. So, but what's cool is a fun thing that I want to mention is we did though play together because we had family jam sessions, which were one of my favorite memories.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So what's really fun is my oldest brother plays drums, and then the next older brother he plays bass and guitar, and then Nicole plays violin, and you didn't play guitar much at that point because you didn't until you graduated. And then my mom obviously plays piano. I was learning chords. And so what we would do a lot of times would be on holidays when my brothers were back for breaks or something, and we would go to the church and we would just spend hours just like playing worship music and whatever. And like the best part was that our oldest brother would bring up the acoustic set from downstairs because at that point there was the electric set. He's like, I'm not playing on these. So he'd lug up the acoustic set from down in the youth room and set it up and everything just so that we could all play together as a family. And those are some of my favorite memories.
Wow.
Just like the true, I don't know. I think that was some cool worship with just us that we were able to I don't know how God's gifted us in all of those ways and all those musical ways because our parents are pretty musical. Didn't they like meet in choir or something in college?
Yeah, I would say like your whole
yeah.
family. Like I would, if there's ever like a musical family, like I think of you guys. Like, I mean, we did like my family. We were vocal. Like we just sing, which makes sense because we talk a lot. So obviously we're gonna do something with our voices. But like we all like pretty much like everyone has some idea of like how to play an instrument of some sort, but we've never done it together. It would be interesting to see that.
That would be
but like yeah, we always just sang together. But you guys like you had like the full band. You could have put an album out. Why didn't you? Let's talk about that. I'm just kidding.
Not the same musical taste in all regards.
Well, I don't do well when recorded, as we discussed earlier. So
we're pushing Nicole a lot out of her comfort zone with this. So y'all better appreciate it.
I really appreciate it.
We're happy about it.
So you started in the youth. Okay. That makes And then was there any I wanted to know that's because I was starting to ask about the sister. Do you have like a sister story of like leading family? Like have you ever struggled with that? Did you have because like leading Erica in the team? Like do you have a funny story about that?
We open up some cans of worms here.
I'm only asking because I know the struggle.
When I was on I genuinely forgot you were my leader. I don't know why I forgot that for a second. Oh gosh.
I did always have to remind y'all I'm the leader. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nicole just go into the mic and be like, excuse me, I'm the leader.
Sometimes you gotta do that. I'm with Nicole on that. Sometimes you have to remind people.
Well, here's the problem.
Me.
There was a point where anyone who's been on a team, not even just a worship team, a band, if the drummer and bassist start goofing around,
it's so loud.
They
it's a disaster.
encourage each other, and it causes disaster. It's very loud. And so that was the problem. Is I was good friends with the bassist, and so him and I would start goofing around, and it was not a good time. So that's when Nicole would be like, "Excuse me, I'm the leader." And
I was gonna say, I think with family, you're just so much more comfortable with each other.
Yes,
so things could get
that's true. Yeah, that is very true.
Like, hey, you're not doing that how I want you to. You just take it really personally.
Yeah, instead of objectively, you're just like, oh, I'm not not doing that, it must mean that I'm a horrible person in this specific personality trait, and that's why I'm doing it wrong. Because I don't know, like people who have sisters, like I feel like you understand that. Right?
Oh, I so get. That's why I wanted to bring this up and like hear you guys talk about it, so I can be like, yeah, I know.
I know that I was the difficult one. I will fully fess up to that.
I was gonna say there were emotional times where you would be pretty
Well,
frustrated that I didn't know what I was talking about. I was like, can you just please do the bum da da dum? And you're like, I don't know what that means.
Josh understands that too, because I do that to him sometimes too. He'd be like, Erica, can you just do this? I'm like, no, I can't. He's like, no, it's just this. I'm like, I can't do that. And he's like, and then show me like a video. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that.
Yes.
Because I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So there was that. But I did want to say that she has always been very, very kind and very humble in that I was her leader for a lot of things. Pretty much. I mean,
almost everything in high school,
any ministry event at plus, I was like leading it, and so I can imagine that would be could be a challenge from a little sister, just like, oh, okay, yes, I'm just hearing what my older sister has to say again. That's great. I had a lot of good things to say.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Well, it was hard because you were my youth group leader, and then my Bible study leader, and then you were also my sister and the youth team leader, and then even sometimes in some kids ministries, you were above me in those. And so
as much as there is some frustration, like honestly, she handled it so well and was very.
That is true. Like now that you say that, there was a lot outside of just that.
Yeah. But I think the hardest part coming from the sister being taught in all things perspective is to remember that you can't act always like a sister towards them, because then everybody else will think they have the right as well to like be extra sassy and like say comments that like even if they know you're not meaning it, it makes everyone else think it's okay. And that was really hard to do in all of those realms, because I'm like, well, I see her all the time, and so like even though I know like this joke I can like, or I can, you know, act like this,
out me on something.
Right, or like accidentally out her on or something like that, just goes around her all the time. I'm just like, oh crap, like I can't just do that at all.
Yeah, I have to say my sisters have done a very good job of that, and it's been hard, but it's been a lot of outside conversations. We're like, let's take this outside. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Gotta go
do we had some interesting car ride conversations after certain stuff where we had to just talk. But I'm grateful for it. Like, I am.
I would not take back any of the time that I've spent like leading my sisters. Like, it's been such a fun thing. It can go south, but also like it could really be a really cool way to just grow together. So, but yeah, it's always just interesting. I was like, I don't know very many. I mean, I don't like personally know very many people who have been able to like lead family and whatnot. So it's interesting just to hear stories from that. That's
You guys never knew my sister, but my sister and we used to be on worship teams together.
I remember that. Yeah. How was that for you, Josh?
Fantastic. My sister is the coolest person on the planet, though, so it was very easy to lead her. She played piano and I played guitar, and she would. And actually, we did this once. We came and she learned guitar later, and we played. We introduced a song.
Oh, I remember that. It was "You're Beautiful"
at the church. Yeah, beautiful.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah. I vividly remember that.
I think it's one of those things that like it can be hard if the boundaries aren't set, if not everyone's on the same page. But once you I think one of the great things about worshiping with family is after a while you start to figure each other out so well that I really wouldn't have to explain things to my sister. I was about to. I almost did it Erica. But
now it's just called doing an Erica.
I didn't have to like tell her what to do. She could just hear it. She could just tell, oh, that's what Josh is about to do. And
we did get to that.
That's how it is with my sister. Yeah.
Nicole and I totally reached that point.
Being a self-taught guitarist, I had some pretty wacky rhythms, and I have this habit where I just like to change it up. Like the verse is going to be one rhythm, the chorus is going to be different, and then I might do something fancy on the bridge. And Erica was pretty great at like keeping up with that.
You do certain hand motions or like head or looks or
Yes.
something, and with the sister connection, like I just couldn't know what
Yes.
you were saying, and it helps so much. Well, what was great was when Josh came to lead. I remember there's people talking to me being like, "Okay, why does he not give us more instruction?" Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Well, let me tell you something. The main team that I've played on was the youth band with my sister leading it. She would literally be like, "This is the song we're playing. Okay, ready, set," and then like we would just go. And I just
Ready, set, go.
Where do you want me to start? What do you want me to do? I don't know. Do what you did last time? I don't remember. Just come in at some point.
We'll just
I'm like,
do that.
panic. And so I just have to
It's
like watch her
so
movements. And like
hard.
sometimes she would
Yeah.
just like move a certain way. And I know she's like, you know, about to stop or about to do this or whatever. So I just cut on with Josh because he did that sometimes. And I'm just like, so all these people like, he doesn't tell us anything. I'm like, I just, you know, you
can
hate it
tell,
at first,
yeah.
but you just gotta accept it. Some
There's
people are
just the
like
things.
that.
Yeah. It's
There was
so
also
hard
a-
not to do
I do have to
that.
say there was also a deliberate decision in that. Is because one of the things that I would want is I want to hear what they're going to do naturally. Because if I come in dictating how they're supposed to play, then I am closing everything off to what I can imagine.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
if
and
I
like, what
hear
if they
things that
can
I
hear
didn't,
something?
if I'd hear things that I didn't like, then I would address it. And I would say, okay, let's not do that. Or I would tell you to do the but on the drums. And
Yeah. But
I wanted to know, like, I kind of wanted a pure first listen. What do you guys think that this song should sound like? And then on the way say, okay, let's get our visions together.
Yeah. Anymore, I kind of like, I prefer that because
Oh no.
to know what they want to do, what I want them to do, and I like to not tell them. I like to do the 1, 2, 3, let's go. Like, okay, I'm gonna count us in. Here we go.
Well,
And
the
then like
amount of times
everyone's
Nicole
freaking
picked
out.
the same songs that she would judge us for not knowing what to do because she's like, guys, we've done this song like 5 times before. I don't need to tell you what to do. And we're
Did you
just
just
like,
write it down or didn't you just feel it?
Honestly,
you would say that.
yeah.
You'd be like, can't you just feel what we're supposed to
Yes.
do? And like
Yes.
some of them were like brand new instrumentalists, and they're like,
Feel
"You
what?
don't know what to do?"
Is there a vibration that I'm missing or something?
I just see them vibing on the drums, you know, playing into the bridge that cuts out. Just like, oh, I
Yeah.
guess I'm not playing the snare anymore. Let's just put in a ton
Yeah.
of cymbals so it seems like I'm doing something right. I don't know what's going on.
When it comes to worship music, especially, I just
Yeah.
want to feel it. I just want to be like, okay, the spirit is saying go again. So you
Yeah,
better be
there's
on the
something
same
to that
page.
though. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, if you just go on the same thing, like you could be missing like something
Right.
that the Lord wants to bring to attention to someone, or like, you know, just
Mhm.
being flexible about it is
Yeah.
really key. But it drives
Yeah.
the band crazy, and they
Well, there
feel
was,
super
though-
scared, and you get a lot
Yeah.
of looks of like, "Is this what
Right.
we're doing?" And you just have
It
to do a lot of
drives
nodding,
classically
like, yeah.
trained musicians
Yes.
crazy.
Yes,
That's
that is
what-
true. That is true.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
the one pianist we had at one point was not the biggest fan of it.
What'd you say?
The one pianist we had at that one point was not the
Mm.
biggest fan of it because
Yes.
she was classically trained.
Yes.
But what I think though is I hate to say that you guys are right, even though being one of the instrumentalists, it sucked sometimes and was very
Sorry.
stressful sometimes. But sometimes the coolest things, like the coolest intervals or like ways of doing the song were created from just messing around and being like, oh, I never would have thought of that if like, you know, we just didn't watch each other and kind of feel and vibe with each other.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, like very inexperienced instrumentalists. That's the word.
You did it.
You know, in youth group, and it's usually their first time playing with anybody else, and that's hard to learn. And so you're just not gonna sound great for a bit. That's okay. And I just wanted them to know that's okay. And also, I mean, you're trying to like figure out who you are and all that in high school, and you can get kind of caught up in yourself. And I didn't want this whole we got to be perfect, we got to look good. I wanted to cultivate more of I want you to be worshiping, and I want you to let go of that performance idea and at like performance what's the word? I don't know, mentality, that's the word.
Yeah.
And like, if we could just kind of just relax, let go of how we look, and just try and worship together, I think that that's just better. I don't know, in my opinion. I
No,
just
for
think it's
sure.
better.
Like my team, like I want them to be able to be like a little uncomfortable at times, but comfortable enough that they can get lost in the worship, like
Yeah.
to know their interests and just go with it. And just like to me, because like to me as the leader, if like they're so stressed on like what the heck's going on, like all of that, like I feel so bad because they like miss Sunday morning worship because they're so worried about what they're doing that they can't participate in the worship because they're like, oh, I gotta do this. So like, while I'd much rather just like go 1, 2, 3, go for it. Like sometimes I have to remind myself to like go over things because that's like such a big thing for me. Like I want my team to be able to worship because that's what we're there to do. Like they can play the song, they can do all that, but like I want their hearts to be worshiping as well and worshiping with them. But yeah,
well, honestly, you can't lead worship if you don't worship yourself. That's not
because you're just
not
playing
leading
a
worship.
song.
You're performing, and that's all glory to yourself instead of all glory to God. Honestly, straight up.
Just say it.
Mic drop.
We just say it on here, okay? So you're totally good.
Sound effects.
So yeah, I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. I have not led worship hardly at all since moving, because with the whole moving and being in a different place and being in a place where nobody knows me, I knew that I would go up on that stage and just think about myself. I would think about, oh, what did they think about my voice? Oh, what did they think about this? Like, oh my gosh, I'm messing up in front of all these people I don't know. So for 3 years now, I have not done the thing that I love so much to do, because I am very convicted that if I cannot go up there and worship God and have no speck of worshiping myself, then that is not leading worship, and that's not what I want to lead people in. I don't want to lead people in me. And I think that is so important. And I think that we often, and even I wasn't myself at first, brave enough to not do. This has been a big topic in my life for the past 3 years. After moving, I didn't feel like God was opening doors for me to do really much of anything. I didn't even work for a year, and honestly, that was the hardest thing. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do, because I wasn't doing. And but
it's a season of waiting.
Yes. Well, and honestly, I would challenge even that perspective. Like, yes, we are waiting, but there is never in between seasons.
That's true.
God is always working.
Ooh,
and
that's good.
And we're to live in what He has for us today and right now. I guess I don't know. I think it's okay to wait for certain things, but I think it's so important to take what God has given for you, and often that's just today. And I just totally went on to something else. I don't know what I was talking about to begin with, but
that was so good though. That's so good. You were talking about the break that you took. Bring it back to
yes.
I was like so into it, but I do remember where you were going with it. You're talking about the break you took.
Yes, and that is a scary and courageous thing, actually, to not do, and to not do the thing that everyone expects you to do, or even give up the thing that you love so much for the glory of God, ultimately. And I was really convicted of that, like really, really. And I continue to be, as I keep being like, I really want to be up there. I really want to do that again. And God just reminding me that what's most important is for Him to be glorified. So yeah, anyway, sorry, that was a side tangent.
No, that was side tangent. We applaud that side tangent.
Can we add an applaud sound effect? Josh, are you okay?
All the sound effects. Soon our whole
his whiteboard is going to be
full of sound effects.
I want it to be as good as the Patrick commercial. I want Josh to live up to his potential with this podcast. Please. Can you just do better for us, please?
He's done so much. He's refraining. Nope. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Is he? Oh.
Do you know how long that Patrick commercial took? I'm not putting that's like a 10-minute video. I'm not putting that into your 1 hour ramble session. Come on.
Ramble session.
You know
it's
what?
It's a conversation.
I want to say that this is going really well and it's not a ramble session. This has been very helpful, at least for me.
We're
I'm
adding
like
a deeply offended sound effect right here.
It's gonna sound like oh. Bow, bow, bow. Oh my
That's what's
gosh.
happening, and it's caused by you. That's
Nicole, you were worried
get out
about
your
your
red marker.
side rant. These are our side rants. Like they're not even like yours was actually good and
Important.
edifying, and ours are like sound
And
effects.
sound effects.
Where's
we
our
have
sound
to-
effects?
We had to bring in Patrick at some point. This is our regular podcasting.
Yeah.
Now
he
we've done it.
just yep.
He's
He's
just
in
here
there
all the time.
every time now. We're gonna find some way to bring him up.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna challenge those who are listening. If you comment on almost every single one of our posts like Patrick does, maybe you'll be talked about too. You ever think about that?
But we said no
Participate.
names, so
Well,
if you want your name protected, just let us know. But
I literally
otherwise,
have a
we have no
tier.
problem saying
no,
names.
but I have a tier on our Buy Me a Coffee. I think it's I need to bring down some of the prices, but I'll do let's make it $5 a month where you will be shout outed. That's the real way to say it.
outed.
You get shout out.
Give them a shout outed. Is that what it's called on Buy Me a
Oh,
Coffee? Maybe that's fine.
No.
Does it?
But
Is
can
it
I
like
bring up
a
my
shout-outed?
own shame moment of before leaving for this trip? I was looking at Google Maps and I asked Josh, I was like, oh, I'm just on I-29 the whole time. That's really nice. I was like, is it bad driving through Omaha? And then I was like,
Oh my
don't
gosh.
do it. And Josh said, Omaha? Is it nice drive to Omaha? I don't know. How's Omaha? So I'm not surprised by it shouted outed because and Nicole was worried about her mom brain. I told her she didn't have to worry. She remembered
No one would
Preface.
have known.
We are welcoming here. We
That
got
is true.
Preface, Omaha.
Yep. I started this
Bless
whole
you.
thing saying preface. Like
It was a
cool.
The cover too. That's how I always say it in my head, even though
Okay.
I know that's not how
I don't know what it
supposed to be
is.
said.
It that's the same for me. I still
Yeah.
read it.
That's
And
fine.
then I'm just like, you know what? That's how I say it. But
It just shows that you're a good reader. You just read.
There you go. You just
I-
read.
okay, yeah. You're like, what does that
Good
say? Preface?
reader.
Something about a preface, I guess. I don't know. We'll find out.
Great reader.
Cut that out. Let's just cut that out. Too.
If no one hears what
Cut
you're
that
reading, really, where is the conviction here? If it's just in your head, only you can say you're wrong, and you don't even know, so you're automatically right.
I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but can I just like reel this in and then lead it into a new direction?
Bringing it back. That's all you
Yeah.
gotta say. Just say we're.
You
I'm
just have to
bringing it
say
back.
we're gonna bring it back.
We're gonna bring it
I'm-
back.
I'm gonna bring it back.
Bringing it back.
Okay.
What's
do
that
it.
face?
Wait, staying on topic? Oh,
This is why we don't bring guests on here.
that's a novel idea.
Well, and two, it's
dare
even
ya.
crazier than that. I don't have like much, like hardly any thoughts on it or like an
Ooh.
answer.
Ooh,
What
I'm
I'm
so
about to bring
excited
up.
Are
for
you
this.
interviewing
It's
us?
very open ended. I just had a thought, and I just
Okay.
wanted to see your
I'm
guys'
so
thoughts on it.
excited. I'm so excited.
Well, we've talked a lot about how siblings and leading worship together and worshiping together. And I don't know, maybe you've already talked about this, but like, I don't know, that just got me thinking about how we're worshiping as a family and how can we, maybe the question is, how can we be a family in our
Ooh.
worship more, or even maybe with the people we're leading? Like we are brothers and sisters in Christ. And so like
Yeah.
that unity, that playing off of each other, that like really being in
Mm.
tune with each other. I don't know. I think there might be something there. I don't really have a lot of thought on that. So if we want to cut this out, that's great too.
No, I'm so excited.
No,
for
we don't
that.
have any more room on
That-
our whiteboard to edit out anyways. So
We're maxed edit out. So no, I would love that question, that
Mhm.
thought. I mean, I have stuff to go off of, but Erica, if you wanted to go, do you want me to take it away?
go ahead. I'll add in when
Okay.
I want to add in. Yeah.
All right. So actually, with the church that I'm leading at right now, there is an opportunity coming very quickly, actually, where we're just adding in some more people.
Mm.
And I've been feeling like we're at this point where we've had the same people and like they're super united, you know, like I've tried to mix them up and like throw them off with like different people, but they're super united, like they understand each other, like going in and at it, like they know, like they just really know each other. It's a very comfy. So I am so excited to be adding these people in because I kind of want to see how it's going to shake it up, and just to like actually see where my team is at on that.
Ooh,
because that's super important, like that they feel united, and that, you know, yes, it's a team member, but it's also like your brother, it's your sister, and like they are going to church, the same church as you do, like you're not just like, you know, like keeping that in mind. So I am really excited to see like what will happen when we start to add in some new people, and one of my biggest prayers is that they would feel like it is a family, and that it's like, oh, this like group is really tight, and like they make jokes a lot, and like there's a lot of jokes and whatever, but also like a lot of worship. So I'm excited for my team to like just invite other people in. But I have like, it's strange, you can tell when like the team at, like if you go and visit a church or whatever, you can like sometimes really tell where the team's relationship is at by like just the worship. And like I've been to a couple where it's like, oh, like nobody really knows each other. But I think like one of like a big sign for me is like when at the end of the worship session, like we all somehow like end up in a huddle and we're like talking like, oh, that was like good, like great job, like we made it, like good job, like how did you feel about that? Or like if someone was like nervous about a part, we're like, you did really good, like, you know, were you able to worship? Like, yeah, it was so good. Like that small little huddle. And it's like so interesting that like to see teams that like they don't know, like they don't talk to each other afterwards or whatever, like it's just super formal and strict. And I feel like that loses a lot in the worship because it's like the team's not united together in that, even though they are and they should be, because they're brothers and sisters, and they're like part of the same family.
What makes you close to your siblings? You know, I think one, just seeing each other as you really are.
No, it's true.
Well, it's living under the same roof.
Yes, and you're forced to see each other as you really are. So being genuine. How can we cultivate a community of being genuine, not only in our leadership team, but also in our whole community?
Yeah, being open.
Too. That's big. Yeah. Also, there's a lot to be said for having fun and laughing together.
Yeah.
That connects people fast. If you can find something to laugh over, if you can laugh at each other, if you can laugh at yourself, it's so huge. So I think not neglecting to meet together and have a laugh and be a little goofy.
You were always good at that. I was thinking while we was talking, when you led the youth group, being
being goofy.
Well, there was that, because you know sometimes we do renditions of songs where suddenly everyone's singing opera, and you know we just add in an oompa beat, and it was just a blast. Because sometimes Nicole just being, do whatever you want, and then we just mess around, and she just go with it. It was great. But you also made sure that you cultivated that family kind of experience, because we sometimes met, and the practicing was a small part of it. Like we would meet, and sometimes you'd be like, okay, I can tell we're not worshiping, like we're way too focused on ourselves, we're not focused on an end goal. And you would kind of refresh us on what that end goal was, and we would study the Bible together and like have a devotional time together. And then you'd be like, so are you guys, you know, reading your Bible at home, or are you like, where are you at? Like, because we're obviously, you know, you can always kind of feel that tension when you're not all
for sure.
And so you were willing to bring that up, and you know, in the moment, you know, we're just
make a like quick side note. If you want to serve people really well, make sure your own personal quiet time with God is super consistent.
Amen.
Otherwise you're not gonna,
you need to be
what are you giving them? What are you giving them? Like an empty cup. And that's not really all that great.
No, and I think that's huge for the leadership of creating that family atmosphere, is to be poured into, because you'd be able to come and being like, okay guys, I get what that's like to be like that, but this is how I get out of it, and this is how, you know, this is what we need to do to bring back that atmosphere and bring back. And sometimes it would be like, we would just be like, okay, well, can we just like have some snacks or something? And like we'd have snacks, or like, you know, it'd be more casual things, or we would just be like, okay, like talking about random stuff, or you'd let us talk for a little bit longer, even though, you know, sometimes it was stupid conversation, but like I don't know, it was so that we were actually friends, and then we wanted to hang out outside of stuff, and I mean, some of the youth band friendships that I had were either friendships that were not there before or that grew more exponentially through serving together and through having that core goal. And like most of the worship team for I don't want to call it big church. I almost called it big church. We're upstairs with the worship team, the
Big kid church.
but upstairs in the worship team, most of the people I was on the worship team with when I started, I didn't really talk too much out because they were like, you know, the older adults are like da da da. Like they seemed because they were on the stage, they seemed not better, but like more intimidating in a way, which is weird. I still don't understand that, why I thought that, but it's a thing. And so getting to know them, I think it's a really cool way of getting to know people when you play music together, because you can tell this is what you'll be doing for eternity. And that grows you together just through the Holy Spirit working through all of you. It grows your love for each other along with the love for the Lord, which is how our friendships and family relationships should be built anyways. It's like, you know, you say like seeing everyone as they are, like with families, that's why you're close. You see everything. And what's cool about seeing everything is like you see the downs and the ups. So you see your sibling like really just, you know, having a really rough day. But then what's really cool is the next day you see them doing better and you're able to see them. They've read their Bible. They've, you know, hung out with a certain friend who you know is an encouragement or something, and you get to see that example of this is what I should do when I'm struggling or when I have a hard day. And that's how it should be with church too. Like your people you worship with, like you are open with each other and you guide each other and help each other and encourage each other in how to get back on track or how to remember what our goal is and what I don't know what our friendship should be based on, and relationships and family relationships and whatever. And I think music is just one of the coolest ways to do that.
Yeah.
One thing I like to go ahead, Nicole.
Okay. There's nothing more inspiring than to see somebody in love with their creator and their God. And you see that so much. Or just pouring your heart out to him, and you see it in worship. In people that you wouldn't see that in otherwise. It gives them an opportunity to do that publicly, to cry out to their God in pain, to cry out to their God in joy. And it's so special and unique, and there is no better way to inspire somebody to get close to God than to be close to him yourself and enjoy him.
Oh, amen.
That actually goes with what I was gonna say. One of my favorite things to remind the team or even like the congregation is like, we're gathering together today to do what we were created to do. We were created to worship. Like this is what we're supposed to do. So let's do it like to the best of our abilities, with hearts full and ready just to give to the Lord. And like that was like, that's a reminder for myself. Like when I'm telling them that, I'm also reminding myself like this is what we were made to do. We were made to be worshipers. We were made to be people who worship the Lord and just give our hearts to him through that. So I love that. That's a good question.
That's such a good question. I'd love to hear like our listeners' input on that too. Like, honestly, like message us or comment on our post when this goes out. Like, what do you think makes for those good brother-sister relationships within the church and within worship in particular? And like, I don't know, just playing with each other with true joy in who we're praising and who we're worshiping. I think that'd be interesting to hear some different inputs of those who have been in worship teams and those who haven't. Because I'm always curious, because all of us have this viewpoint where we've been in teams, or you know, all of you. I mean, even technically, I've led a team a couple times when I've had to fill in for Nicole or something over the summer. So we all have experience with that, but like you guys more than me. I'd be so curious to get a perspective of someone who's never played on a worship team, and like what their perspective of the team is, and like if they can notice when a team is together or not or whatever, and like what that viewpoint would be. That'd be super interesting. So let us know, message us or talk to us about it. We'd love to hear about it. It'd be interesting.
Please do.
That outer perspective.
But it was great to
also sorry, can I just add one?
Oh yes. Absolutely.
I just wanted to say along that line, like to all the people who don't feel called to be on stage, to be leading instrumentally or vocally, make a joyful noise unto the Lord. It's so wonderful to look out and see you all worshiping with us in the congregation. That's so important and so encouraging to me every time. I just love it. So don't be shy to make a joyful noise
Right. Well, it's what we've talked about, like what David Mathis has said, with just forgetting yourself and just focusing on Jesus and the joy it brings to, just truly worship and sing loudly. Like, everyone has that one person in their church or the kid or whatever who just sings with such a pure joy from their heart. And sometimes they're off key, or sometimes they don't even know the words and they're, they're mumbling through it. But like, you cannot deny it is a joyful noise. And that's the best encouragement, even for the worship team. The joy that brings us when we even like hear or see that, like that is, I don't know, that helps us not be so self-centered too, or like just so focused on trying to be perfect when we see, oh, that doesn't matter. Like, I know you've taught us before that what matters is not being a distraction. So we don't want to play badly, so we distract, but like we want to play well enough that it's helpful and it is glorifying. And like there's that balance where you don't want to be so focused on perfection, but you don't want to be distracting, and you don't want to kind of insult God with not trying. So there is that fine balance. But those people who just make a joyful noise, they're the best. Oh my gosh. So,
but I actually do need to say, I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine.
Those who feel uncomfortable to the 10th degree of making a joyful noise and feel like that distracts them from worship, that's okay too.
Oh, true.
If you can genuinely worship from your heart with your eyes closed, listening to other people worship, and I just want to say that that's okay too. I am a shy introvert, and so as much as I love leading worship on a stage, which is just crazy testament to the Holy Spirit, I think, we need all parts of the body.
Yeah.
And someone sitting and praying for those worshiping, that maybe they need to hear, they know somebody that really needs to hear those words. Like worship in that way by praying for somebody. Worship by listening and allowing it to soak into your heart. That's okay too.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say that real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was good. So many good things. That was so fun. Thank you so much for joining us, Nicole.
Yeah. Do you have any final comments or anything to sum it up? Or
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's all great. Loved being here. Loved getting to talk to you guys. Hear your thoughts. Thanks for listening to my ramblings.
They were so good.
We're always welcome for more ramblings.
Well, it runs in the family. You all got good ramblings. I love it.
No, it was a joy having you on. It's such a fun first guest to have as a sister.
Yes.
What a
what an honor to be a first guest.
Hey,
thank you.
Congratulations on that. We'll get you a sticker. How about that?
There it is.
I'd love one. An Erica design sticker. That'd be pretty cool.
There we go. It will motivate me to finish the other stickers I keep promising people, but it's okay.
There you go.
They haven't called me out yet, so it's fine.
That's true.
Because I'm called out. But no, it was so fun. And it's cool that you have such experience with it and such a joy with talking about it. And we will obviously have you on again sometime if you're ever willing. But maybe now you're just like, I don't want to do this again. I've done that.
It's a one-and-done
duty. the one-time deal, guys. This is really rare. All right, just really soak this one in. But no, it was really fun. Never come back.
No, I'd love to come back.
I said never come back. Oh my god.
She's never coming back. That was it. Just kidding. No, for sure. We gotta have her on again.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Maybe you can pick the topic next time.
All the power.
Heck yeah. There we go. There we go. And we will continue talking about habits of grace next time. We will be on the ending of belonging to his body, and we will not be on the ending of belonging to his body. I'm so sorry, guys. We're not.
We're like midway through it.
We're halfway through because we keep doing like darn bonus chapters and stuff like that. We'll get there eventually, y'all. It's fine. You know us. But this is a really fun kind of like break episode in between. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and let us know what you think about having guests on here. We have a lot of people that we want to have on here, and we're pretty pumped about it. So maybe Nicole can tell them that it's not too terrible to,
and it's okay if you don't want me back. I'd understand.
Oh my goodness. Whatever. Everyone say we want Nicole back.
Leave that in the comments.
No, I'd rather you talk about worship or something else.
Oh my gosh,
You're
It's
so
okay.
sweet.
We talked about so many good things. I loved having another perspective, and then they didn't just have to hear our voices, so it's fine.
Yeah, it was
Sounds
great.
good.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you guys have nothing else to add, I will close this up here. And I just hope that you'll join us again next time when we go back to our study of habits of grace. Join us for more tea and shenanigans on the next Seeking First podcast episode. Remember to go support us and join our Facebook group officially with a membership for $3 a month at buymeacoffee.com/seekingfirst. And as always, you can contact us through posts or messages on Instagram and Facebook at Seeking First Podcast. We'll see you guys later.
See ya. This is when you have to be careful. This is when he gets you.
Oh, you didn't say see ya, Bri. You didn't even
Oh my
say
gosh,
goodbye.
I still say goodbye.
Goodbye.
I didn't say my see ya.
Bye-bye.
I
Well,
usually say
usually she
goodbye
says-
because I feel bad, like just like cutting out at the end.
I know
but
it's kind of weird. Like,
And Josh like times out the song with your see ya, and it like works, and you just once
Can we go back
again,
and do it?
Bri messes up. Do you want me
It's
to?
too late
me.
now.
oh, excuse.
Oh, no.
Everyone's gonna think. I guess Bri doesn't care about us anymore.
Have a new
She's just
co-host.
Here, I
We have a
can
new
I can
co-host.
clip it and just do a 3 seconds of quiet and then say it. Okay.
Okay, all
Say
right.
what? Say see
I have
ya?
to sneeze.
Don't do that. Would you like to get it out now?
Yeah, no, okay, go. Hold on. Like every time I think about going, it just sneeze comes back. All right, go. I'll hold my nose until we do it.
That's gonna sound funny.
See ya.
There it is.
See, this is why I don't stop recording right after the episode's over.